Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. I am Neha Paryani, and in this session we are going to discuss about multiple choice or objective type questions from the chapter non-profit organization or not for profit organization. In common they are known as NPOs, or sometimes we also call them as NGOs. Okay, so this is the first part of the video where we will be discussing 10 questions, right? And 11th question will be your homework. You have to give me its answer in the description box below. Okay, and before going to multiple choice questions, first we will discuss the concept of NPO in brief. Okay, so NPO stands for non-profit organizations. So in the name itself it has some of the organizations which do not work for earning profit. They work for providing services to the society. Their main motive is social service, okay, or providing help for the society, right? So usually the main objective of business organizations will be to earn profit, but here profit earning is not at all an objective. We need to prepare accounts for an NPO. So basically for an NPO, the accounts that we prepare are: first is receipts and payments account. Then after that we'll prepare income and expenditure account, and at last we'll prepare the balance sheet of the NPO. Okay, so receipts and payment account is very similar to an cash account. In this account all the cash transactions are recorded, and it does not matter that the cash transactions are recorded to which year. I mean, even if they are related to some other year, then even still in that case also we will consider cash transactions into receipts and payments account. Okay, suppose it's given that cash receipt in the year 2019, whereas we are preparing receipts and the payments account for the year 2021. Still we will take this transaction into consideration. Okay, two things we need to remember in receipts and payments account. So all the cash transactions are taken, then transactions related to any year are taken into consideration, and the balance or the end figure of the cash or receipts and payments account will be called as cash at the end of the year, or cash available at the end of the year. Now coming on to income and expenditure account. So in this account we record all the receipts or incomes and expenses of an NPO. Okay, here we need to remember two things. So income and expenditure account is very similar to profit and loss account of an trading organization or a business organization. Okay, so here we need to remember two things: that only the transactions which are revenue in nature, only the transactions which are revenue in nature will be recorded in the income and expenditure account. And another one thing that we need to remember here is only the transactions related to the current year are recorded. Now these 2 points are very important. I will highlight them. Okay, so only the transactions which are revenue in nature and only the transactions which are related to current year are recorded. Now you must be thinking, what are the transactions which are related to the current year, or what are the transactions which are revenue in nature? See, I'll give you an example. So revenue income or an revenue expense is some income or expense which occur again and again. Okay, which occur again and again. For example, salaries is an expense. We need to pay salaries every month to the employees, so this becomes an revenue expenditure. Okay, suppose we are receiving rent. We have given our home to somebody else on rental basis. Okay, we are the landlords. Then receiving rent will be the income, and every month we are receiving rent, okay, from the tenant. Then it becomes an revenue income. Okay, then there will be certain expenses like purchase of a computer or purchase of any asset. So this does not happen again and again. We will purchase them like after many years. So usually these transactions are not recurring in nature. These become capital income and capital expenditures. So capital incomes and capital expenditures will be recorded in the balance sheet and not in the income and expenditure account. So in income and expenditure account, only revenue transactions are recorded, and the transactions relating to current year are recorded. Okay, so balance sheet is as usual. So the left side contains liabilities of the NPO, right side contains the assets of the NPO. Okay, now let us begin with our questions. Right, so which of the following is not an example of a NPO? Right, as I told you, so NPOs usually provide services for the society. So check the options out of these. Sports club is an NPO. College provide service, educational service, it is also kind of NPO. Not all colleges are NPO, but they are working for the welfare of society. Okay, so in general we are considering it as a NPO. Then hospitals, they serve for the society. Coming on to option D, private enterprises. So this is not an NPO. Private enterprises work for their own profit or work for their own benefit. So option D is the right answer here. Private enterprises are not an NPO. Second question is receipts and payments account is it a personal account, is it a real account, is it a nominal account, or is it a profit and loss account? So profit and loss account is not at all an option, right? So what is the nature of receipts and payments account? As I already told you, the cash transactions are recorded in the receipts and payments account. Clear? So cash is an asset. Assets belong to real account. So the answer here is option B. Receipts and payment account is a real account. The nature of receipts and payment account is real account. Then third question is donation received by a club for organizing annual function is treated as. Okay. See, for an NPO, usually donations are common. Okay, so they are regularly occurring. Many people will be giving donations, will be doing charities for an NPO. So if it is given only donation, then it is revenue in nature, which means regularly occurring. But in this question, they are telling donation is received for annual function. So annual function, we know it happens once in an year. It is not regularly occurring. Okay, we are receiving the donation, definitely it's a receipt. We should find out whether is it a capital receipt or a revenue receipt. Okay, as I told you, donation is received for some specific purpose. The purpose is mentioned here, for conducting or organizing annual function. This happens only once in a year. So here we are treating it as a capital receipt. If it was given only donation received by a club, then it would have been a revenue receipt. Clear? Donation for specific purpose is always capital in nature. Then we have fourth question. Income and expenditure account is prepared by. Okay, so as I already told you, the name of the chapter itself says non-profit organizations. So here, income and expenditure account is only prepared by non-trading organizations, okay, which do not trade or which do not purchase or sell any products. Correct? They do not deal with any kind of products or services. Okay, trading organizations, industrial units, they prepare P&L account, not a trading account. Sorry, not income and expenditure account. Okay, but income and expenditure account is somehow similar to a P&L account of a trading organizations or profit earning organizations. Okay, then fifth question is subscription received in advance during an accounting year is treated as. Okay, so subscriptions, it is an income for the NPO, and we know that incomes and expenditures are recorded in the income and expenditure account, right? So I told you two rules for income and expenditure account. First rule is only revenue nature transactions are recorded. Second rule was only the transactions related to the current year. Current year in the sense present year. Only the transactions related to current year are taken into consideration. In this question, they are telling subscription received in advance during an accounting year. So advance, it means it's related to next year. It is not related to the current year. Okay, in that case, we will treat subscription as a liability. We will treat it as a liability. Okay, if it was related to the current year, we will treat it as an income, that to a revenue receipt or revenue income. Okay, then moving on to next question. Life membership fee is, okay, again in the name itself it's mentioned life membership fee. Okay, so life membership fee, we only receive it once in a lifetime. Again, membership fee is usually common for an NPO, okay, that is revenue in nature. But when it is mentioned life membership fee, so it happens only once in a lifetime. Okay, so then again we will treat it as a liability here, right? Why is it treated as liability? Because all at once we are receiving the membership fee. Now it is the obligation, it is the duty of the NPO to utilize this amount properly. Okay, suppose somebody is giving me 5 lakh rupees as an life membership fee for an NPO. Okay, and if I am the manager of that NPO, I cannot think that okay, now this 5 lakh rupees belongs to me, I can utilize it in any way I want. No, this cannot be happened. So this amount, life membership fee, is given for carrying out services in an NPO. For an NPO, it is a liability. Like how capital is liability for the trading organization or profit earning enterprises. Similarly, life membership fee or donation for specific purpose or subscriptions which are related to specific purpose, all those are a liability here. Okay, then moving on to next one. Now this is a numerical question. Okay, a sports club purchased a television for rupees 20,000, right, and spent rupees 3,000 for stabilizer and rupees 1,000 for fittings. Okay, the television should be capitalized for, or they are asking what is the total cost of the television, right? So here the total cost of the television is definitely 20,000. We paid to purchase it. We also paid 3,000 for stabilizer, which is very important, and we also paid 1,000 for fittings. In total, television costed at us for rupees 24,000. So total answer D. Okay, rupees 24,000 is the total cost of television that we will record in our balance sheet. Okay, then question number 8, sale of old newspaper is, okay, now see, newspapers are something which we get regularly, right? We get newspapers on daily basis, we use them on daily basis. Okay, so once when the newspaper, many newspapers are collected, definitely NPO is going to sell them as a scrap. Some amount will be generated from it, right? So that is, they are asking us, is it a capital receipt, is it a revenue receipt, is it an asset or a profit? Definitely it's one of the receipt, right? We are selling the old newspapers as scrap and we are receiving some income out of it. Even though the income is very small, but still it's an amount that we are receiving. It's one among the receipts. Now we have to think, is it a capital receipt or a revenue receipt, right? So newspapers, we consume them on daily basis. So regularly we will collect a lot of newspapers. Regularly NPO will be selling them as a scrap. So that is a revenue receipt. Okay, then coming on to ninth question, which is again a numerical one. So subscriptions received in cash during the year is rupees 5,000. Okay, then Amount of subscription, amount received in advance for next year is 300. Okay, amount outstanding for the current year was rupees 490. Right, the amount to be credited in income and expenditure account is, okay, see, during the year subscription received was 5000, this is fine. Then remember two rules of income and expenditure account. Whenever you see income and expenditure account, immediately you should remember the rules. Okay, so the second rule says that only current year transactions should be recorded. So now this 5000 rupees include amount received in advance for next year, rupees 300. So clearly they are telling rupees 300 is belonging to next year. Sorry, it belongs to next year. It is not related to current year. So we have to deduct this 300 from 5000. Okay, it is not related to current year. So 300 rupees minus. Then the amount outstanding for current year was rupees 490. Outstanding in the sense amount that we have to receive, still we have not received it. Okay, any amount which we have to receive, still we haven't received it. We can also call it as accrued subscription. Okay, or outstanding subscription. We have to receive it, it belongs to current year, it's directly given in the question. So when it belongs to current year, we will add it, rupees 490. Okay, now the final amount will be 5000 minus 300 plus 490 is option B, 5190 rupees. Amount will be credited in the income and expenditure account. Okay, next. Last question for the day and 11th one will be your homework. Okay, so now the question is, in the beginning of accounting year, a club has assets of rupees 18,000. Okay, liabilities of rupees 5,000. Okay, outstanding subscription for previous year is 1800. The opening capital fund is, okay, we have to find out what is the amount of opening capital fund. Okay, see, opening capital fund can be found out by preparing an opening balance sheet. Okay, in some questions opening capital fund will be given, and in some questions it won't be given. So in that case we can find this amount by preparing an opening balance sheet. We know on the left side balance sheet contains all the liabilities, and on the right side we have all the assets. So they have directly given the amount of assets, that is 18,000, and they are telling there were liabilities of rupees 5,000. Liabilities of rupees 5,000. Now there is outstanding subscription of previous year also. Okay, it is not related to current year. When it was related to current year, we can consider it as a liability. Now it's related to previous year, we'll take it on the asset side. Outstanding subscription, rupees 1800. Okay, now just close both the accounts. So close both the sides. Right, on asset side we have 19,800. So balancing figure will be here 14,800, which will be our capital fund. So answer is option B, 14,800 rupees. This is our capital fund. Okay, then next 11th question, this is your homework. You have to give me its answer in the comment section below, and if possible also try to write the explanation for your answer. Okay, question is, legacies received as a specific donation is treated as what? An asset, or option B, revenue receipt, option C, capital receipt, option D, none of the above. Okay, so I'll give you an hint about what is legacy. So legacy is somebody's will, or somebody's property, or somebody's stake. We call it as stake. Okay, for example, after the death of a father, all his property, all his will belongs to his son, right? That is what we call it as a legacy here. Now if an NPO is receiving legacy as a specific donation, then we will treat it as what. Okay, so this is your answer. This is your question. Provide me your answer in the comment section below. Okay, we will be coming up with another part, and I'll try to include more and more numerical questions in it. So I hope to see you all in the second part. Till that, happy learning.